International Can It Forward Day is celebrated every year on August 1st. This day celebrates the art and tradition of home canning, preserving fruits, vegetables, and other foods in jars to enjoy later. It was started in 2011 by Jardin Home Brands, the makers of ball canning jars, to encourage people to learn and share canning skills. The invention of canning began in 1795 when Napoleon Bonaparte offered a reward for a reliable method to preserve food for his army. French confectionary Nicolas Appert rose to the challenge. By 1809, he had developed a technique of placing food in glass jars, sealing them with cork and wax, and then boiling them to kill bacteria. This method worked, though no one at the time understood why. It would take nearly a century before Louis Pasteur explained the role of microorganisms in food spoilage. In 1810, Englishman Peter Durand patented a method of preserving food in tin-plated iron cans, which were more durable than glass. This marked the beginning of true canning. The first commercial canning factory in the U.S. was established in 1812 by Thomas Kensett, who canned oysters, meats, fruits, and vegetables. By the mid-1800s, innovations like John Mason's screw-top glass jar in 1858 and Alexander Kerr's wide-mouth jars in 1903 made home canning more practical and popular. The modern two-piece metal lid, introduced in 1915, became a standard for safe home canning. Canning became especially important during World Wars, when governments encouraged citizens to grow and preserve their own food. Today, canning is both a hobby and a sustainable practice, with modern tools and safety guidelines ensuring food is preserved effectively. Just make sure you're washing your hands, the jars, the lids, and the utensils thoroughly before starting. Sterilize the jars if processing time is under 10 minutes, not needed for longer times, and keep your workspace clean and organized. Don't be sloppy. Go to it. Do it, get it done. Can yourself silly. National Disc Golf Day is celebrated on the first Saturday of August each year. The concept of disc golf, throwing a flying disc towards a target. Two key figures in the sport's early development were George Sappenfield and Kevin Donnelly, both recreation leaders in California. Sappenfield organized one of the first formal disc golf events in 1968, using frisbees and hula hoops. Around the same time, Donnelly was hosting citywide frisbee golf tournaments in Newport Beach. The sport truly began to take shape thanks to Steady Ed Hedrick, an employee at Whammo, the company behind the Frisbee. In 1966, he patented the modern Frisbee, and in 1975, he invented the disc golf pole hole, the metal basket with chains that is now the standard target in the sport. Hedrick also founded the Professional Disc Golf Association, the PDGA, and the Disc Golf Association, the DGA, laying the foundation for organized play. National Watermelon Day is celebrated every year on August 3rd. This day is dedicated to celebrating one of summer's most refreshing and beloved fruits, the watermelon. With its high water content, that's about 92%, and sweet, juicy flavor, watermelon has been a favorite for centuries. By around 2000 BCE, watermelon had made its way to ancient Egypt, where it was cultivated and improved. Archaeologists have found seeds and paintings of watermelon in Egyptian tombs, including those of pharaohs like Tutankhamun. These early cultivated melons were likely oval-shaped and had begun to develop sweeter flesh thanks to selective breeding. From Egypt, watermelon spread along Mediterranean trade routes to India by the 9th century, China by the 10th century, and Europe via the Moors in the Middle Ages. Watermelon was brought to the New World by European colonists and African slaves. It quickly became a staple in the American South, where it thrived in the warm climate. National White Wine Day is celebrated annually on August 4th. This day honors the crisp, refreshing, and globally cherished variety of white wine, from Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc to Riesling and Pinot Grigio. It's a celebration of the drink's rich history, diverse flavors, and cultural significance. White wine is often enjoyed as an aperitif, paired with light meals, or served chilled on warm days. White wine likely originated in modern-day Iran around 3500 BCE, where early winemakers began fermenting the juice of light-colored grapes without skin contact. This method produced a pale, refreshing beverage distinct from red wine. Archaeological evidence also points to early wine production in Georgia, Armenia, and Turkey, where grape cultivation and fermentation were already well established. With European colonization and trade, white wine spread to the New World, including the Americas, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. Blogger Day is celebrated annually on August 5th. Blogger Day honors the art and impact of blogging, a form of online self-expression and information sharing that has shaped the internet for decades. It specifically celebrates the Blogger platform launched by Pyra Labs in 1999 and later acquired by Google in 2003. Before the term blog existed, people shared ideas and discussions through Usenet, newsgroups, bulletin board systems, and email lists. These platforms allowed users to post messages and engage in threaded conversations, essentially the precursors to modern blogs. The modern blog began to take shape in the mid-1990s as personal online journals. One of the earliest and most recognized bloggers is Justin Hall, who launched Links.net in 1994 while a student at Swarthmore College. His site chronicled his life and interests, setting the tone for personal blogging. In 1997, the term weblog was coined by Bjorn Barger to describe the process of logging the web. In 1999, Peter Merholtz jokingly broke the word into weblog on his site, and the term blog was born. Platforms like WordPress in 2003 and TypePad emerged, and blogs became a major force in news, politics, and culture. Notable blogs like the Huffington Post and TechCrunch gained massive followings. Blogging also became a career path. Video blogs or vlogs gained popularity on YouTube, and platforms like Tumblr and Medium offered new ways to share content. Meanwhile, microblogging on Twitter and Instagram shifted attention to shorter, more visual content. In recent years, AI tools like ChatGPT have begun assisting bloggers with content creation, idea generation, and editing. Blogging remains a vital part of digital communication, blending personal storytelling with professional publishing. National Fresh Breath Day is celebrated every year on August 6th. This day is all about promoting oral hygiene and raising awareness of the importance of fresh breath. Whether it's caused by garlic, coffee, or poor dental habits, bad breath can be a social faux pas. National Fresh Breath Day encourages people to take better care of their mouths, not just for appearances, but for overall health. Brush and floss after meals and before bed. Use mouthwash to kill bacteria and freshen breath. Stay hydrated. A dry mouth can lead to bad breath. Chew sugar-free gum to stimulate saliva. Visit your dentist for a checkup and cleaning. Share tips on social media using hashtag National Fresh Breath Day. Over 50% of bacteria in your mouth can contribute to bad breath, even if you brush regularly. That's why a full oral care routine is key. Don't have stinky breath. Take care of yourself. If not for you, for your loved ones and the people around you that have to smell it. National Lighthouse Day is celebrated every year on August 7th. This day honors the historic and symbolic importance of lighthouses, those tall, shining beacons that have guided sailors safely to shore for centuries. It commemorates the Lighthouse Act of 1789, passed by the U.S. Congress, which established federal support for the construction and maintenance of lighthouses across the country. The earliest lighthouses were not towers, but open fires on hilltops, used to guide mariners. As seafaring grew more sophisticated, these fires were elevated onto platforms or towers to increase visibility. In the United States, the first lighthouse was Boston Light, built in 1716 on Little Brewster Island. It marked the entrance to Boston Harbor and is still operational today. On August 7th of 1789, Congress passed the act that officially brought all U.S. lighthouses under federal control. In 1989, the 200th anniversary of that act, Congress designated August 7th as National Lighthouse Day to recognize their role in maritime safety and history. National Braiders Day is celebrated annually on August 8th. This day honors the art, culture, and professionals behind hair braiding, a practice with deep roots in Africa, indigenous, and global traditions. Braiding is more than a hairstyle, it's a form of cultural expression, community bonding, and personal identity. The day also raises awareness about the challenges braiders face, including unfair licensing laws and lack of recognition in the broader cosmetology industry. Founded in 2020 by the company Esbraid, National Braiders Day was created to celebrate the skill and artistry of braiders and to advocate for their professional rights. The day also honors pioneers like Isis Brantley, a Texas braider who was arrested in 1997 for practicing without a cosmetology license. To braid hair? Seriously? Her decade-long legal battle led to reforms that exempted braiders from unnecessary licensing requirements. It's braiding hair. National Hand-Holding Day is celebrated every year on August 9th. This day celebrates the simple yet powerful act of holding hands, a gesture that symbolizes love, comfort, unity, and support, whether between romantic partners, friends, parents, and children, or caregivers and the elderly. Holding hands is a universal expression of connection and care. In relationships, holding hands often symbolizes intimacy, trust, and emotional closeness. Parents hold their children's hands for safety and reassurance, especially in unfamiliar or crowded places. Friends may hold hands to show unity, encouragement, or shared joy. In many cultures, hand-holding is part of rituals, prayers, or ceremonies, symbolizing unity and shared purpose. Hand-holding reduces stress and anxiety by lowering cortisol levels, boosts oxytocin, the hormone associated with bonding and affection, lowers blood pressure and heart rate, especially when holding hands with loved ones, provides comfort during times of grief. Duran Duran Appreciation Day is celebrated every year on August 10th. This day is dedicated to honoring the legendary British band Duran Duran, known for their groundbreaking music videos, stylish image, and massive influence on 1980s pop and new wave music. The celebration was started by a radio DJ in Michigan who chose the date because it was also his birthday. Since then, fans around the world have embraced it as a day to celebrate the band's music and legacy. Their self-titled debut album in 1981 featured the hit Girls on Film, which gained attention for its provocative music video. Their second album, Rio, in 1982, catapulted them to global fame with hits like Hungry Like the Wolf, Rio, and Save a Prayer. These songs were accompanied by lavish cinematic videos that made them MTV superstars and leaders of the second British invasion in the US. Their influence spans fashion, music, video production, and pop culture. Hip Hop Day, officially celebrated on August 11th, honors the birth and cultural impact of hip hop. Hip Hop Day commemorates a pivotal moment on August 11th of 1973 when DJ Kool Herc and his sister Cindy Campbell hosted a back-to-school party in the Bronx. Herc introduced his innovative breakbeat DJing technique, which laid the foundation for hip-hop music, dance, and culture. Old-school hip-hop from the 1970s to mid-1980s that was disco-influenced beats and party themes. A golden age took place mid-1980s to the early 1990s. Lyrical complexity, political messages, and stylistic diversity. Mainstream expansion from the 1990s to the 2000s. Rise of gangsta rap, commercial success, and global influence. And your modern hip-hop, that's 2010s to present, fusion with pop, trap, drill, and digital platforms, global reach, and cultural dominance. Milkman Day is celebrated annually on August 12th in the United States. It's a nostalgic and heartfelt tribute to the hardworking individuals, milkmen, milkwomen, and milk delivery workers, who historically ensured fresh milk and other dairy products were delivered directly to people's homes. Milk delivery began in Vermont in 1785 when people no longer had space for family cows due to urbanization. Local dairy farmers started delivering milk door to door using metal barrels, and customers would bring their own containers. In 1878, the first glass milk bottle was patented, the Leicester milk jar, revolutionizing milk delivery. 1884, Henry D. Thatcher introduced a capped bottle, improving hygiene and convenience. 1920s, bottles began featuring etched designs and advertisements. Homes often had milk boxes or milk doors built into walls for easy and secure delivery. The spread of home refrigeration in supermarkets led to a sharp decline in home milk delivery. National Filet Mignon Day is celebrated annually on August 13th. This day honors one of the most luxurious and tender cuts of beef, the filet mignon, which comes from the smaller end of the tenderloin. Known for its buttery texture and subtle flavor, it's a favorite in fine dining and often associated with elegance and indulgence. Filet mignon comes from the small end of the beef tenderloin, a muscle called the psoas major, which runs along the spine of the cow. This muscle does very little work, making it exceptionally tender, hence its reputation as a luxury cut. Only a small portion of filet mignon can be harvested from each animal, contributing to its high price and exclusivity. It's a lean, boneless steak that is best served medium rare to preserve its delicate taste and texture. Cooking it correctly often involves searing in a hot pan and finishing in the oven with careful attention to temperature control. World Lizard Day is celebrated every year on August 14th. World Lizard Day is a niche but meaningful celebration dedicated to raising awareness about lizards and other reptiles. There are over 5,600 species of lizards worldwide. Some lizards, like the horned lizard, can squirt blood from their eyes to deter predators. Lizards can regrow their tails, though the new ones are often less perfect. The new tail is often made of cartilage instead of bone. The Komodo dragon is the largest living lizard and is venomous. Many lizards have exceptional color vision, some even better than humans. They use this to identify mates, rivals, and food. Now, how did they know that? Many lizards can drop their tails when threatened, a process called autotomy. The tail continues to wiggle, distracting predators while the lizard escapes. Species like the New Mexican whiptail reproduce through parthenogenesis, meaning they clone themselves without needing males. Who needs those stinking males? World Honeybee Day is celebrated on the third Saturday of August each year. This observance began in 2009 after U.S. beekeepers petitioned the USDA to recognize the vital role of honeybees in beekeeping. Honeybees are social insects known for producing honey from nectar, pollinating a wide variety of plants, including many crops. Pollination: honeybees pollinate about 75% of flowering plants and 35% of global food crops. Biodiversity: they help maintain healthy ecosystems by supporting plant reproduction. Agriculture: crops like almonds, apples, blueberries, and cucumbers rely heavily on bee pollination. The queen bee, the only fertile female, lays up to 2,000 eggs per day. Worker bees: sterile females that gather food, care for the young, and maintain the hive. And drones: those males whose sole purpose is to mate with a queen. National I Love My Feet Day is celebrated annually on August 17th. This quirky and meaningful holiday was created in 2015 by Caroline D. Jenkins, a foot care advocate and children's book author. The day is all about appreciating your feet for the hard work they do every day, promoting foot health, especially for those with conditions like diabetes or poor circulation, encouraging proper footwear choices to prevent long-term issues, raising awareness that 75% of adults experience foot problems, often due to ill-fitting shoes. Here's some interesting facts. Each foot contains 26 bones, 33 joints, and more than 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Together, your feet make up a quarter of all the bones in your body. The average person walks about 100,000 miles in their lifetime. Feet can absorb up to 4 times your body weight when running. Your feet are essential for balance, posture, and movement. Feet have 250,000 sweat glands, capable of producing up to half a pint of sweat per day. World Breast Cancer Research Day is observed annually on August 18th. The date was chosen to reflect the statistic that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. This day was established by the Dr. Susan Love Foundation in May of 2021. The day honors the researchers working to understand and cure breast cancer, raise the awareness about the importance of year-round research, not just during Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, support those affected by breast cancer, and highlight the need for continued innovation in treatment and prevention. In 2025, an estimated 316,650 women and 2,800 men in the U.S. will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer. Age is the most significant risk factor. Most breast cancers are diagnosed in women over 50. Other risk factors include family history, genetic mutations, hormonal influences, and lifestyle factors such as alcohol use and obesity. International Orangutan Day is observed annually on August 19th. This day was created by World Orangutan Events to raise awareness about the critical threats facing orangutans, including deforestation, illegal hunting, and habitat destruction due to palm oil plantations. Orangutans are the largest tree-dwelling mammals. They have an arm span of over 7 feet, much longer than their height. Their hands and feet are nearly identical, adapted for gripping and climbing. They are mostly solitary, especially males, but females maintain close bonds with their young. Young orangutans stay with their mothers for up to 7 years, learning survival skills. Orangutans are known as gardeners of the forest because they help disperse seeds, maintaining the health of the tropical ecosystem. Orangutans are known to nap during the day to make up for lost sleep, showing complex sleep regulation behaviors. This day is extremely specific. National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day is celebrated every year on August 20th. This delicious holiday honors the southern dessert that combines crunchy pecans, rich chocolate, a gooey caramel-like filling, and a flaky pie crust. It's a twist on the classic pecan pie, which has roots in Native American cuisine and gained popularity in the 1920s when Caro Syrup began printing pecan pie recipes on its packaging. Pecans are the only major tree nut native to North America. The first published pecan pie recipe appeared in Harper's Bazaar in 1886. The U.S. pecan industry is worth over $500 million, and chocolate adds even more appeal to this iconic dessert. Traditional pecan pie includes pecans, eggs, butter, sugar, and corn syrup. Pecan pie is calorie-dense, with a single slice often containing 400 to 500 calories, and then throw in chocolate. It's probably even more. The International Day of Remembrance in tribute to the victims of terrorism is observed annually on August 21st. Established by the United Nations in 2017, this day honors and supports the victims and survivors of terrorism worldwide. Here are some of the worst terrorist attacks in history, ranked primarily by death toll and global impact. September 11th, 2001, the United States. Deaths, 2,996. Coordinated hijackings of 4 planes by Al-Qaeda. Targets included the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon. Cinemax Rex fire in Iran, 1978. Death toll was 470 plus. Arson attack during a movie screening in Abadan. The exits were locked, trapping hundreds inside. Air India Flight 182 bombing, Atlantic Ocean, 1985. Death toll was 329. Bomb planted by Sikh extremists exploded mid-air en route from Canada to India. Beirut barracks bombing, Lebanon, 1983. Death toll was 307. Suicide truck bombings targeted U.S. and French military barracks. Pan Am Flight 103, Lockerbie, Scotland, 1988. Death toll was 270 people. Bombing by Libyan agents. Plane exploded over Scotland. 1990 Sri Lankan police massacre. 600 to 740 people were killed. Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam executed hundreds of police officers. Hamas attack on Israel, October of 2023. Death toll was 1,139. Surprise assault involving rockets and ground incursions. 1993 Bombay bombings in India. Death toll was 257 people. Series of coordinated bombings by D Company targeting financial and commercial hubs. These events not only caused immense loss of life, but also had profound political, social, and security repercussions globally. National Surgical Oncologist Day is observed on August 22nd each year to recognize the vital role surgical oncologists play in the fight against cancer. These medical professionals specialize in the surgical treatment of cancer, often working as part of a multidisciplinary team to provide comprehensive care. The day was established in 2019 by Jenny Cherlin and the Lean on My Breast Cancer Foundation. The purpose to honor surgical oncologists for their expertise, compassion, and dedication to improving patient outcomes. August 22nd is the birthday of Dr. Dwight Carlton de Rizzi, a pioneering surgical oncologist known for his contributions to cancer care and education. What do surgical oncologists do? They perform biopsies to diagnose cancer, remove tumors and cancerous tissues, provide comprehensive cancer care, and continuously research and adapt cutting-edge techniques to improve patient outcomes. Cheap Flight Day, observed annually on August 23rd, marks the unofficial start of the fall travel season when airfare prices historically drop. August 23rd has become a popular date for savvy travelers to begin booking flights for upcoming trips. Why August 23rd? It coincides with the end of peak summer travel as families wrap up vacations and kids return to school. Airlines respond to the dip in demand by lowering fares to maintain passenger flow. Data from travel agencies like Cheap O'Air show that domestic fares can drop by up to 30% and international fares by around 10% compared to summer rates. It's a booking day, not a flying day, meaning it's time to start looking for deals, especially for fall and early winter travel. Prices tend to rise again as demand increases for Thanksgiving and holiday travel. Flexibility in travel dates and destinations can help you maximize savings. So go take that fall or winter vacation and save yourself some money. The Burning Man Festival is a unique week-long event held annually in the Black Rock Desert of Nevada. In 2025, it will run from August 24th to September 1st, transforming the barren desert into Black Rock City, a temporary metropolis dedicated to community, art, self-expression, and self-reliance. Unlike traditional festivals, Burning Man is not about headlines or scheduled performances. It's a participatory experience where attendees, known as burners, create the art, music, and culture themselves. The theme for 2025 is Tomorrow Today, encouraging participants to envision and build the future in the present. This theme invites imaginative installations, futuristic costumes, and thought-provoking discussions about technology, sustainability, and human connection. Massive art installations, many of which are interactive and burnable, dot the desert landscape, culminating in the symbolic burning of the man and the temple, rituals that represent release, transformation, and renewal.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
National
1.
Whiskey Sour Day is celebrated annually on August 25th in the United States. It's a day to honor one of the most iconic and refreshing classic cocktails, the whiskey sour. Before it became a barroom staple, the concept of mixing spirits with citrus was common among British sailors in the 1700s. They drank citrus juice, like lemon or lime, with alcohol to prevent scurvy, a disease caused by vitamin C deficiency. This practice laid the groundwork for what would become the whiskey sour. The first formal recipe for the whiskey sour appeared in 1862 in Jerry Thomas's influential book, The Bartender's Guide: How to Mix Drinks. His version included powdered sugar, lemon juice, bourbon or rye whiskey, shaved ice, and garnish with berries. Today it remains a cornerstone of classic cocktail culture, celebrated for its balance of sweet, sour, and strong. National Web Mistress Day is celebrated annually on August 26th to honor the women who design, develop, manage, and maintain websites, often working behind the scenes to keep the digital world running smoothly. The web mistress is a woman who designs and develops websites, maintains and updates web content, markets websites in the digital space. The term is a gender-specific counterpart to webmaster, and while it's less commonly used, it's gaining recognition as a legitimate job title. Founded in 2016 by Kat Valentine and began using the title professionally, the day was officially recognized by the National Day Calendar to promote gender equality in tech and validate the title Web Mistress. The purpose and significance of the day: recognize women in web development, promote STEM education for girls and young women, challenges stereotypes in tech and digital spaces, and encourages companies to legitimize the title and support women in tech roles.